I waited by the shore every evening, until the tide brought back something it never should have. What walked out of the water wasn't quite the man I remembered.
Subscribe.
They met at Changzhou High during the Spring Festival cleanup, when volunteers were helping decorate the courtyard. Lei Wei, son of a powerful export tycoon, had no business carrying paper lanterns, but he did, just to walk beside Mei Lin. She was different, modest, studious, unbothered by wealth. Lei Wei adored that. They stayed close all through school. Everyone said they were destined. Mei Lin had dreams of opening a bookstore. Lei Wei? He would soon step into his father's empire. But he promised to make space for love. "We'll get married the moment I return," Lei Wei said, holding her pinky finger tightly, days before boarding a flight to Singapore for a prestigious one-year international trade course. News broke 2 months later. The plane went down near the Pacific Rim. Some survived, most didn't. Lei Wei was declared missing. For weeks, divers searched. For months, headlines printed names. Mei Lin didn't speak for nearly 3 years. She withdrew from university. She barely ate. Her parents, desperate, forced her into therapy. She kept a single photo by her bed, of them holding hands under cherry blossoms. Meanwhile, unconscious and adrift, Lei Wei was washed ashore on a remote coast near the Philippines. A humble fisherman, Mr. Han, and his son discovered him barely breathing. His wallet gone. No ID, just a strange scar near his collarbone and a broken wristwatch that had stopped ticking. He remembered nothing. For 5 years, he was known as Tian, meaning sky, named after the one he fell from. He helped the villagers repair nets, mend roofs, plant yams. A peaceful life, but a life he never chose. By year 4, Mei Lin started speaking again. She reconnected with an old friend, Takeshi, a quiet classmate from high school who had always stood in the shadows. He had loved her silently, back when she only saw Lei Wei. But Takeshi waited, never pushing. When Mei Lin finally opened up to him, it wasn't love. It was gratitude. And slowly, it grew into something warm. They married the next year. By year 6, they had a son, Kai. In the 6th year, during a freak storm, Tian was struck by lightning while helping tie a boat. When he woke in the village clinic, something had clicked. Suddenly, he remembered. Mei Lin. Like floodwaters bursting through a dam, his memories returned. His name, his home, his life, everything. He gathered what little savings he had, took a cargo ship back to China, and returned home. His family cried. His mother collapsed. His father retired early, guilt-ridden over not searching longer. But Lei Wei had only one thing in mind. Mei Lin. He found her in a bookstore downtown, the one she always dreamt of owning. Through the glass window, he saw her, laughing, holding a toddler, beside Takeshi. He froze. When their eyes met, her soul seemed to leave her body for a second. She dropped the book in her hand. Her knees buckled. They met privately later that evening. Mei Lin cried, clinging to his chest, confused, broken. He smiled through tears. "I came back for you." But she looked away. "I waited," she whispered. 3 years. I never believed you were dead. But everyone told me to let go." Lei Wei understood. The pain in his eyes wasn't anger. It was heartbreak and acceptance. Then came the twist. As he stood to leave, little Kai peeked from the hallway. The child looked up at him, then looked again. The same eyes, the same scar on the left collarbone, the same hair curl above the right brow. Lei Wei blinked. "Who is he?" Mei Lin's lips trembled. "Your son." Turns out, before his flight, Lei Wei and Mei Lin had spent a night under the stars. She had discovered the pregnancy only after the crash. No one knew. Takeshi, despite knowing the truth, still chose to raise the child as his own. Lei Wei stood by the door, eyes full of both pain and peace. "I didn't come back to take anything," he said, "only to know that what we had was real." Mei Lin held his hand one last time. "It was real. It still is. But some loves live in memory." And just like that, he walked out into the early evening sun. Kai ran out moments later, yelling, "Uncle Tian, wait!" Lei Wei turned and knelt. Kai handed him the broken wristwatch he'd found earlier that day in the bookstore's Lost and Found. Tick, tick, tick. It started working again. Sometimes, the tide returns what we thought was lost. But by then, the shore has changed.